Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Welcome to Practical Insights, the podcast where we dive deep into topics that empower you with practical knowledge and skills. I'm your host, Francis Kabungo, and today we are going to tackle a skill that can boost your confidence, open doors, and amplify your voice. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the skill of public speaking. Today's episode is part of a series on becoming a confident public speaker. In the entirety of the series, we are going to discuss 5 important steps that you can take to become a confident public speaker. So this being the first episode of the series, I saw it fit that we talk about the importance of preparation and how to prepare. So as we know, whether you are presenting at a conference, pitching an idea, or giving a toast at a wedding, being prepared is key. So let's dive into how you can effectively prepare for the next speaking engagement. So now let's discuss the steps that you can take to prepare for that speaking event. First things first, let's talk about understanding your audience. Now imagine you are giving a talk to a group of tech enthusiasts. If you dive straight into technical jargon without gauging their level of expertise, you might lose them. On the other hand, if you are speaking to a group of high school students about the same topic, you need to simplify and make it much more relatable. What do we mean? Research your audience's interests, demographics, and expectations. Tailor your message to resonate with them. So now, after you have understood your audience, you have determined their level of expertise and everything in between, we can go to the next point, which is defining your purpose. So, what do you want to achieve with your speech? Are you there to inform, persuade, entertain, or motivate? Picture this, you are speaking at a charity event, so your purpose is to persuade people to donate. Your key takeaway should be a compelling reason why their contribution matters. Having a clear objective keeps your speech focused and impactful. Now onto structuring your speech. So on this one, you think of your speech as a journey with a beginning, middle, and end. You start with a hook, something to grab their attention. So from the donation example, you can start, for example, as follows. Imagine a world where no child goes to bed hungry. That world is within our reach. So as you can feel, this sets the stage for your message. So now when structuring your speech, organize your main points logically. Support them with evidence, examples, and anecdotes. For instance, if you are discussing the impact of climate change, you can share a personal story about a time you witnessed its effects firsthand. This makes your content relatable and memorable. You can finish strong with a conclusion that summarizes your key points and reinforces your message. Maybe even throw in a call to action. For example, if you are talking about climate change, you can end like this. Well, let's make a difference together. Start by making small changes in your daily life. I'm sure you feel what I'm talking about now. So now as you are structuring your message and all that, you should make sure that your content is unique. Do thorough research. Gather relevant information, statistics, quotes, and stories to back up your message. So let's say you are speaking about the benefits of a plant-based diet. You can cite studies, share personal success stories, and maybe even quote a famous athlete who swears by it. The idea is write in a detailed script or bullet points, whichever you are comfortable with. Use clear, concise language and avoid jargon unless it's appropriate for your audience. Make your content unique. Remember that. So now that you have understood your audience, you know the purpose of your speech, you have structured your work, organized it, and done your research, practice, practice, practice. Rehearse your speech aloud. This helps you get comfortable with the flow and timing. Record yourself and play it back. Yes, it might feel awkward at first, but it's a great way to catch areas for improvement. Get feedback from friends, family, or colleagues. Remember, constructive criticism is your friend. They might just point out some things you haven't really noticed. So as you practice, remember that delivery is very important. It is everything. No matter how much you practice or you prepare, but when your delivery sucks, then everything just goes down the drain. So you should make sure that you pay attention to your voice modulation, you use pauses effectively. Now, imagine you are telling a suspenseful story. You wouldn't rush to the punchline, right? Same goes for your speech. Body language speaks volumes, so maintain a good posture, use natural gestures, and make eye contact. This will exude confidence and helps engage your audience. So another tip that can really help you prepare and ace that speech is to visit the venue if you can. Try to visit the venue if you can. You familiarize yourself with the space and the equipment. You check that the microphone works, the projector is functioning, and you know how to use everything. Arriving early gives you time to sort out any technical glitches and get comfortable with the environment. You wouldn't want to be on stage and all that, and then you just find your microphone is not working. You just find this has gone wrong and that has gone wrong, and then people get impatient and you know what happens next. So now you've done your preparation, you've practiced, you've visited the venue, and now you are on stage. Of course, if there's something that will never go away when it comes to speaking, especially if you really love what you do, is being nervous. But always remember that that's normal. So what are some of the things that you can do in order to be more in control of your nervousness? So you can try relaxation techniques like deep breathing, visualization, or even a bit of meditation, where before you get on stage, you try to just breathe in and breathe out. That really helps. Or visualization. So you picture yourself giving an amazing speech and receiving applause. Positive thinking goes a long way. And apart from being nervous, when you're already on stage, you make sure that you engage your audience. You ask questions, you encourage participation, and you are responsive to their reactions. If you're using visual aids, make sure they enhance your message, not distract from it. A well-placed slide or video can make your point much more powerful. So make sure that you engage your audience if it's necessary. And even when you're just giving a one-way speech where you don't need questions or feedback, just try to be attentive, pay attention to their responses and their reactions and all their non-verbal cues, and then try to modify your speech or your reactions to that as you go on with your speech. And finally, the last but not the least, prepare for the unexpected. So make sure that you have a backup plan for technical issues, and just make sure that you dress appropriately for the occasion. Arrive early to set up and get into the right mindset. So on this first part of the series, we've talked about how to understand your audience. So we've discussed that you need to know the expectations of your audience, you need to know the demographics, you need to know the interest of your audience. We've also talked about defining your purpose, where you need a clear vision of what you'll be doing. Are you going to be informing? Are you going to be persuading? Are you going to entertain? And then we also talked about structuring your speech. You make sure that your speech has a beginning, a middle, and the end. And apart from that, we also talked about developing your content, which is making your content unique. So you do thorough research, you gather relevant information and statistics and everything. You just try to do your best and make sure that your presentation is unique, it's different, it just gives that feeling to the audience. And we almost overemphasized on the practicing. So you make sure to practice, you rehearse your speech, you ask friends, you try to perform with a small audience. You see this a lot with comedians, where if they're trying to create a joke, maybe before they do that special, they'll run it through different audiences, smaller audiences, to just make sure that it's perfect and all that. And we also talked about delivery. So we talked, you said that delivery is everything in your speech. You practice your posture, your gestures, and everything. And we also gave some tips such as visiting the venue. That's if you can, where you familiarize yourself with the space, you make sure that everything is just working perfectly. And we also talked about how to be in control of your nervousness. And apart from that, we also talked about how to engage your audience. Where you ask questions, you pay attention to their non-verbal cues and all that. And finally, we talked about how to prepare for the unexpected. So there you have it, your ultimate guide to prepare for public speaking. Remember, preparation is the key to confidence. The more prepared you are, the more natural and engaging you will be. Well, thank you for tuning in to Practical Insights. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. And you can also listen to this podcast on any of your favorite social media platforms or podcast platform. That is on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many other platforms. So until next time, keep learning and keep growing. This has been your host, Francis Kavungo, signing off. Do have a good day. Have a great day.